Dang it! Why is my stupid thing?
It's popping up on the live recording. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Josh, we had an email. All the pipes froze at work, so we're going to need you to schedule us in.
Hey, you
It's commercial.
No.
As well.
Yeah, the fucking city turned my power off.
Oh, man.
Right now?
No.
Oh, I was like, I thought they stopped that. Hey, that's ambiance. Yeah.
I've already
That's the best time to play.
D&D session.
remember I had to start. My phone was dying, so I had to start a generator. I had a
Josh,
generator.
you should invest in what's called a power bank. You know, portable charger.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
$2. 2 of them for like $20, and
Yeah,
they're like
$20, and you just have them around your house.
I had to
They're
use one to
fantastic.
jump my car.
Really? Yep.
So did they really bring it up? Hey, I'll come out there. I'll fix it. You just let me know.
I mean,
You just have to sign an annual contract.
They actually froze, but they said they called a plumber, and they probably wouldn't be there till tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah.
Or maybe later.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say, but
No, you need to get in there, Josh. Give him like a bi-weekly schedule for maintenance.
that's what I was saying.
Charge them for a whole year contract.
Any commercial account, I'll jump for. That's where the money's at. This residential stuff sucks.
What about food trucks?
Fucking God. I still don't know how I got wrapped in.
Say food trucks.
Yeah, I had a taco truck call me, and my mom's like, "Oh yeah, he'd love to come out there and work on that."
Are they just high the whole time?
No, actually, they were extremely nice. It was a two Mexican women. They were extremely nice. I don't know.
Was it the one on Glenstone?
No, it's down there off of Sunshine and 156. It's over here by where I live. Like if you're driving to Republic.
Was it Tingus Tacos?
What?
Tingus Tacos? The white? No, wait, that's just. I don't think they have it. Maybe they do. I don't remember.
It's blue. But if you're driving to Republic down Sunshine, there's a gas station before you drive under the overpass, and they're in that parking lot. It's by the mobile home park, and there's actually a lot of them. They built that.
There used to be so much more than there are now.
Well, yeah, they built that. Well, they built that parking spot place side like 30.
Yeah, Christian in college, there was like eight food trucks that sat outside next to Evangel over there off Glenstone and Chestnut Expressway.
Yeah.
So there's like
Yeah. No, there's a shit ton of them in Springfield now. Gosh, I want to say it's like Traffic Way or not Traffic Way, St. Louis Street. They built like a little hub for them. It has hookups and waste disposal, and there's like freaking 20 of them all parked in this one big parking area, and there's multiples of them around town. Like there's 2 or 3 by freaking Walmart on West Bypass now.
There was a move because there was always like the London Calling and like 5 or 6 others were always parked at Glenstone and Chestnut. So, and I noticed I was down there a week ago or so ago, and I noticed they were all gone. So it sounds like
there's no one that's really down there anymore.
London Calling is now in the mall. They purchased that corner lot that nobody has success in.
They still have a truck.
And then Smoking Bob's is the other big one that was over there, but he's off Sunshine now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Cameron. That place is just like haunted. And I don't know.
Ever since McDonald's left back in like the early 2000s, it's just every year there's something else there.
Yeah.
It's probably like the most expensive. It's like the biggest one. I bet it's like the most expensive one.
I'm always ready. We're 3 minutes.
Let's go.
Food cart? Oh, food cart because of where we're at. A Camagian slug cart? Yeah. Spell it out. It's K and then Asian.
Yeah. Where'd the M go?
But there's a N
Silent.
too. It's Camagian. So CAMA Jin. No,
Like three hyphens.
no, but there's one of those things that's a dot with a comma underneath it.
A semicolon?
What the fuck?
Um, well, they're down there by I really don't know the territory that I found those in, but they're amazing. You know, like I the one I held. Oh, that makes me sad.
U.S. electric power region map.
That's the map I'm looking at. So right now it says Texas is fucked. California, we just don't act like is there. Then no. Oh well, I mean, I'm not a buffalo style. No, I'm not really into spicy food. I really don't have a tolerance for it. I just liked it. You know, the way he made it, grilled with some garlic and salt, little pepper. Yeah, I mean, these things were, you know, they're about oh, 10 inches long. They got maybe, I don't know, 3/4 girth, maybe 1 inch.
Mm.
And no, they're
Can
like,
you tell the girth and the length, but when you put it in your mouth, or can you tell before?
I mean, it's definitely takes you by surprise, but once it's in your mouth, you really understand. No, you know, they're either grilled or boiled, and he cuts them open. So when you get them, they kind of are filleted like a lobster tail. And it's a dark meat. It's definitely not white. I think he gets them from the sea. I think that's where he said he caught them from, was the sea. Yeah,
Yeah, sea slugs.
sea slugs.
No, slugs from the sea, not sea slugs.
But yeah, I mean, they just, you know, they're kind of like a frog leg, but better. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they were amazing, but I don't really remember much about, you know, after having one. But I know that I was really hungry, so, but they were good. It was a good time. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not a bad idea. I'm gonna write that down.
You would be correct, but I will say Tyrell actually had honestly a pretty quick answer until he heard Tug's long explanation of his. So here goes. Well, the original answer will be within this answer, but I feel like I need to uh, spice it up. It all started on a journey to find a sacred item in
Oh my gosh.
in a land of frozen.
It all started coming from the womb when I saw the
Not that far.
fly.
Not that far. This was maybe 2 decahedron dawns ago, and
Decadons? Is that a dinosaur?
not from where I'm from.
Oh.
So it was very cold, right? And I had already witnessed 2 of my traveling companions pass away from starvation. So as I knew I had to find something in the what I thought was a mirage was this truck out in the middle of nowhere, this snowy landscape, winds moving 70, 80 gnomes per second in the air. It was very cold. So cold you couldn't leave any skin exposed for longer than 10 minutes or so without having dire consequences. Well, again, very starving. You pick up snow and have some water out of that, but hunger was really taken apart. So I go up to this mirage. I assume it's fake, but as I about to fall over, I find myself actually leaned up against a structure, and then I hear a voice say, "What can I get you?" And it just happened to be the greatest sandwich of my life. It was a pork bruschetta sandwich. It was so meaty and hot, juicy, succulent, gooey cheese, crunchy bread in your mouth. It restored 10 health points, and I was able to continue my track to find my item. Well, now you're having me second think if this was actually a mirage, and I just somehow created this in my mind that it doesn't actually exist, but it got me through it. But still, my answer. Side note, like Jared, that's actually a real sandwich he had in the middle of a negative 32 winds, 70 miles an hour in Boston at a food truck with pork. It was pork bruschetta, but I flipped it for the game. It was super good. Greatest sandwich ever. I don't know it, and that's the saddest part. That's why it is technically a mirage.
Well, when I was doing some stuff in the east side of the land, I kind of went north up into those mountains, and one of the first cities we went to, it was a long trek up there, and we pulled in the city, and the first thing we saw was a shaved ice cart. They had lots of easy access to all the snow up there, and they just had all these crazy flavors. The typical ones, just your berries and stuff, and they had some savory ones, like elk and like ox fat flavored ones, like cured. And it surprisingly went well with shaved ice. It wasn't. It was just kind of a good pick me up after trekking that hard up to get up there. So yeah, I mean, I think it was the most strange one. I wasn't used to something like that. I wasn't really used to the cold in general, and they kind of took what they had and made it into something delicious. Hmm. No, I mean it was just shaved. It was mostly ice based. Everything was cold. Yeah, there were other carts around that had like the hot stuff. Well, he yeah, something tells me that that wouldn't. Are you talking like with like spices hot or physically hot? Because that does. Well, there were other carts around, so I think with that kind of stuff, your typical, your porridges and your hot stews. So there was other places to eat, but I'm pretty simple. So I mean, my favorite was probably elderberry. Yeah, yeah. It keeps the system going pretty good. I actually don't remember. I think there must have been some sort of scrap before we got there because there was like a sign that had been like cut in half, so we only saw um, half of a word, and it was like if I remember right, Snowbit. So I have no idea what it could have been. Yeah, Snowbit.
Billy doesn't look at making profit off of a coconut there. That's unless we're gambling. Unless we're gambling, in that case, a little profit here and there is always great. But no, the best food truck I would say that Billy's ever had is it's got to be from Sincart, of course. Yeah, yeah. It was a man dressed up like a centaur, and the back side of him was the food cart. From a distance, you would have thought it was just a normal centaur rolling through the land. You go up to, go have a friendly conversation, as I would do, and come to find out he's a food cart. It was incredible. I had the best eggplant parm. So, oh yeah, he would open up little drawers you couldn't imagine were there. The top opened up, and that was the grill that you get everything done on. It was, there's a little spot in there to get some baking going on as well. I couldn't you just couldn't imagine how many little things this guy could fit in his caboose. Well, you might look at a centaur the same, but not cart. I'm always on the outlook for one. That eggplant parm, fantastic. I recommend to anybody. I saw just the one.
More like a herd.
A group of them travel together. Oh, I mean, he was going from town to town. I can't imagine how busy he would be in, bigger towns. I caught him, along the road, out in the woods, and you could hear him ringing his little bell, ding, 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 and a gnome hears the bell, and well, what curiosity, gets you a meal. That's what we always say.
Words to live by.
Hey, yeah, thanks for following us around. Christian, are you going live in the chat as well? Okay, cool.
Okay. What is Paludaria? All right. No, I didn't. I didn't realize it was so like.
So does that mean
grand.
we could potentially leave the continent and or planet and go to a different planet or universe or continent? Yeah, like
Yeah, I think we have to discover, first how rockets work and fuel,
I think there's a gap
physics.
between us and rockets.
there has there has to be some type of like bond or tie. Maybe if we just found like the crystal of different planetary system
Mm.
and
Did we enter one when we didn't die? He is?
so like my father, could he travel in between because he's a genie? Is is he only contained in the sphere or
He's
I do think that instead of the crystal, us finding some sort of teleportation spot, the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, space exploration team and NASA research project that we can have going on would be fantastic.
What's NASA?
It's something that will start. New astral space awesomeness. That's what we'll call it.
2.
I
That's how big business is done. At least that's what the guy from Syncart told me. He said I had the name first, and then I built the whole brand around that. So
guys, we have great aspirations for whatever intergalactic travel, but we've been in a forest for 12 sessions, so I'm not thinking we're gonna turn that page anytime soon.
Well, it sounds to me like these other shards need saving. We're pretty good at saving stuff.
let's go get some saving to these other places. We save as well as America finds freedom. So
Yeah, everybody needs a little saving. Flint out.
did we rest? Okay, all right.
We've got the dragon on his heels. We have to pursue.
I think it went west.
I'm thinking we should, maybe rest up a little bit. We could, all of us use, a little health boost, some inspiration could come back. Some spells might come back to us. Maybe you could use this time to attune to a new item since you are no longer attuned to any items, Tug.
Yeah, but we got the dragon on his heels. We need to go.
I'm thinking a good rest would be pretty nice about here.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I vote we just find a nice spot here, camp out next to the edge of this path and get a nice rest in, and then we get right after that dragon. That way you can attune to your wand again, get that bonus that you got, and my health can go from 1 hit point to whatever I got there.
I'm kind of torn because I'm right there with Tug. Like he fled. Like he knew he was so hurt that he couldn't test us any further because we could likely destroy him. Like he's that close to being dead. The longer we wait to let him heal, he's gonna get a lot more healed than we are in that amount of time.
So,
Does
is
anyone-
the dragon located under the Hat Mountain? Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, the dragon had a pretty high armor class. We got the big attack off by a surprise. Tug was able to trick him into accepting the shard of annihilation into his mouth.
Yeah, his armor was 22.
Yeah.
We learned that by accident, I think.
Mm. I mean, inspiration could help out, but I don't have any of that. Not unless I rest.
Yeah, and I can tell you I don't have an ability to get an attack that good. So that's the question. Like I totally see where Tuck's coming from, but if we don't have a chance of doing another attack like that, he's obviously not going to trust us to trick him again. But is there a possibility? Do Ranger Steve or
Okay.
have?
I mean, if we need to, I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying, but like, we don't know what we did to him. His armor class could be extremely low right now because he's like bleeding out. But
Usually that's not how D&D works.
no, but you never know.
I mean, we could find out. We could chase him down and then, see if his armor class is low. We'll know pretty quick. And the dragon flew up over the trees, and we're gonna have to walk through the winding woods. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at least gonna have to go past the lamppost bell things to get to the dragon, right? Oh, oh good. Oh, I was thought the dryad was the ant, or not the ant, the tree ant. Okay, I got you. Never mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. Ranger Steve, should we look for a cave nearby to see if we can find that miracle drink?
Well, the treant didn't mention that it didn't have any, and it had been a long time since it even needed it because it's so big. So I don't know. We never given any information that would suggest that there was any. Oh God, two.
Well, gang, if we're ever gonna die in a different crystal sphere one day, we do need to play this like smartly.
I say that it's not like we're gonna find the dragon in the next like half hour. If we have to cross some other things anyways to get there, and it's gonna take
Yeah.
multiple days or something to even get to the dragon. Remember, he can fly, so he just flew off with further than we can ever see. There's no reason to
just-
believe that we could get there in like a day. So why not rest, get Billy back up, get people attuned, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I did it last time.
Christian, I want
I
you
did
to
it last
make an
time,
item
too.
of atonement.
It's a tone.
I want to ask Ranger Steve if he knows how fast in gnomes per second, the standard speed measurement, if how fast that dragon moves. So that would give us.
Well, gnome tossing has been known to be a sport.
Yeah,
I
I would
you
say
line yourself up with the big board. It's got these 3 holes in it, and you toss the gnomes into the holes. You get 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points.
I would like
one
to take
back.
a shot at this gnome tossing.
Oh, it's great. I once took 4th place as a tossed gnome at a county
toss
fair.
gnome.
Well, yeah, you get points for being a toss. The gnomes are on the team with the tosser. So as you're being tossed, you're trying to angle your body to get into one of the holes. It's a great time.
But you told me that there was 3 holes, right?
Well, yeah, there's 3
So-
holes. You usually get a team of about like 5
You took
gnomes.
4th place in a 3-hole game, which means you didn't even place.
No, you don't understand. There's a bunch of teams. Okay, there's about 10 teams in a tournament. We took 4th place overall.
Yeah, I'm assuming the holes are placed differently, so it's harder to hit different holes there. Toad.
If we find a couple more gnomes, we should get a good gnome toss and gnome hole game going. I'm all for that, you guys. I can angle my body pretty good. 4th place is nothing to spiff about. But
Tyrell
if I
wants
do
to
that
know,
on
like,
1 health,
what
I'm
time
probably
it
gonna
is.
die. Occasionally, you ball.
Terrell wants to know like what time it is. If he looks around, like, is it getting darker? Like we've been talking about gnomes and throwing gnomes.
I'm going
So-
to gather wood to build a fire. I'm going to look around on the ground, and I'm going to see a stick. I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to find another stick, and I'm going to pick it up.
No, you need to start with big logs. I can cut them down.
That's all.
I
That's
haven't
all.
tried yet. I stole an axe.
I'm just simply going to give my little bundle to Ranger and tell him you're welcome.
Freaking figured out.
I want to
So,
get
Billy,
my
you want to take a quick nap? What are you doing?
yeah. I'm gonna take a long rest, but before I do, I want to get out my bag of tricks and throw out. I'm gonna throw out two of my from my bag of tricks and tell them to keep guard and at midnight to give me a little stir to throw out a third one. Just to barely wake to throw out a third one to guard me for the next day.
Yeah, I guess I want to reattune to my sword, the purple piercer.
Can I challenge the? Can I
About
challenge
six,
the group
I'd like
decision
to
right
put. I'd like to build a fire at exactly 6 gnomes.
now? Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is like it wasn't completely dark just yet, from my understanding. I guess my question is, how far outside of the town we just were are we? It's not very far. If anything, like we should be, if we're gonna rest for the night, we should be somewhere not so close to that town in case the dragon decides to just come right back.
That sounds pretty good. Christian and I threw out a badger or a giant badger and a panther. Yes,
Like
and I've
I just have to, before we start setting camp, maybe we go down the road a little bit more.
I would like to pet the panther.
I'm ordering them to protect me with their lives, but petting is okay.
Do you want us to strap you on one of them so you can go ahead and get your long rest popping?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'll start the long rest on the panther after Tug's done petting it.
Badgers have a pouch. We could just put you in the pouch of the badger.
It's a giant badger.
Exactly. Think how roomy that pouch is.
How big? Which is larger, Christian? A giant badger or a panther? No, it's a regular panther and a giant badger. Mm.
Take your pick.
I'll use the panther for defense, so I'll hang with the badger and start my long rest. And I'm ordering them to protect me with their lives, and to jump into any sort of blows that I may have, and keep watch out until right before midnight, and then to wake me just so I can toss out a new one as they disappear at midnight. Yes, I'm gonna snuggle on in there.
Perfect decision.
Oh, it is very cozy.
Is no that is no one back to me on that? I'm not positive that they've got a pouch.
No, you're correct. I can tell there's a pouch here because I'm in one now. The universe has provided a pouch, whether or not it is factually accurate. We wouldn't put that past Billy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with heading
Like-
down.
10 more gnomes, or how many? Like, my feet are sore. Like, how much further?
You were
25 feet. Stop.
My back's a little heavy from carrying all this weight. Like,
yeah.
My bag is a little heavy from carrying all this weight.
I thought he
You're
meant
welcome to hang out here if you
he
want.
has the burden of the Kuatoa resting on his
Yeah.
back.
You want me to take that bag from you, Tug? You want me to lighten the load?
It's open for interpretation, but I mean, I think some of us may have hit it on the head, but
As in a metaphor, though.
He's just throwing metaphors out. Just
Cool. So what time is it now? What are we doing, guys? Same.
How about we head? Let's just
make
head like a league,
100
one
more
league
gnomes.
down the trail.
I want to ask Billy how many gnomes is a league of gnomes.
He's asleep.
Damn it. Well, do you know, Ranger Steve?
It's about 1,200 gnomes.
That sounds plenty. Let's try to do that real fast. Carefully.
Real fast. So we running. Are we running?
Real fast,
Is
carefully.
there any bodies of water nearby? Okay. Do I need to tell? Can you guys see the will-o-wisp? Like, you guys see these, right? It's not just me. We're all aware there's will-o-wisp.
No, I don't see him. No, I don't see him.
Oh, those are fireflies.
All right, I'm down. Still, let's go. We've been talking for a while now. Let's go.
Except for a dragon.
How are your feet, Tug?
They're fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, so that they woke me up. I'll throw out a third one here, and those two now disappear, and so I get a reset for the next day. I rolled a 4, and so that is a boar. Oh, I don't think I've had a boar out too many times. All right, so I ordered the boar to just watch over me and protect me with his life. Don't let anybody come and steal anything off of me or harm me. And I'm gonna to stay stay alert, not asleep, but I'm gonna go to bed. Just right where we're at.
Yep, I want to hike up into the closest tree.
I want to just take a quick 360, not no scope, but 360 look around our area with my eyes wide open just to see if I notice anything. Do they have like permission settings? Like, I don't want this to be like an Amazon Echo situation where they're just listening to us talk the whole time.
I imagine they circle around death.
But we should be sleeping, not talking.
Yeah.
Because do you say that from the tree?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
just-
I can't attune. Yeah, no, I need the long rest. My spells are much more important than the Jane's Bane right now. So I am ready. Um, I would. I'd like. I'd like to ask. Did Billy Where's Billy sleeping now? He's not cuddled up in his nice little couch.
You can see me next to this big old pig.
I am going to choose to sleep close to Billy and the pig. And then I would like to cover myself with my blue sun's cell, and I'm going to use one of my clean rocks to rest my pretty little head.
Tyrell does also need to rest. Yeah. Really, what I want to do as a potential failsafe is I'm gonna take my rope and
Plenty of
I guess
room underneath this cell, buddy.
before I do that, are there any leaves on the ground? Okay. What I'd like to take, as long as it doesn't take too long, find a tree to set up a to start where I tie down my rope. Have it lightly covered with leaves, uh, along as long as I can, and actually have the end of it tied to my ankle to then take a sleep, just in case something walks by. If it trips that, it'll pull me and wake me right up.
Oh, he did pretty good. Let me see what the board stats are. Let me get this one up. So he's a plus.
So, what was everyone else tired from?
I shot it with an arrow.
Tyrell banged his head falling down.
Your mouth.
The boar got a total of 17.
Can I?
Hmm.
Can I take? Can I take my clean rock that I was resting my head and throw it at Tyrell? Like, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to wake him up, but I don't want to make a big scene. Like, stealthfully. Uh, I got a 10. I got a 12. Lower than a 12. Come on, baby.
I am a very sound sleeper. No, that's a 5. That's probably not going to help. Oh, it is. Oh wow, never mind. That'll make it a 9.
Christian, can I just go ahead and use my other 2 bag of trick rolls for today since they reset every day? And then I'm gonna go back to sleep and just have my boar at this point watch over me and defend me and let me know if anything else comes close. And I'm gonna have the other 2 monitor the kind of go on a patrol and attack if need be. All right, I got a 6 and an 8. So a giant badger and a giant elk are now roaming around.
I'm
And I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna actually. I'm gonna quickly just rotate and go back to sleep. I'm gonna climb back into the pouch of the the badger, and sleep in the badger's pouch. Have him protect me. Just right there, and let the boar and the giant elk now patrol the area while I continue my rest. I'm ordering the elk and the boar to protect both me and the group, with me being the priority, but also the group. Um, and then the badger is not supposed to wake me unless an immediate threat is coming up for me to have to get away.
I'm gonna pull out another clean rock and take my blanket and go sleep next to the badger.
Well, I'm a little weirded out. Like, I can I kind of listen to see if I can hear if there's any kind of noise emitting from these will-o-wisps? What if I really try to listen?
I'm gonna listen harder.
Wisdom. That's gonna be 18.
Tyrell has neither.
Okay. Do I mean, do I feel threatened necessarily? I think it's just weird, like personally, but should I feel threatened? Okay. Well, I don't want to waste any more time because I really do need the rest. So I'm gonna try to put it out of sight, out of mind. Uh, and maybe if I throw some leaves over my head, that'll cover up a little bit of the like eyes staying open to look at them, and then maybe they won't see me either. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe that's probably not gonna work. But I'll try that. And, and then obviously my mind is racing right now. I know what I think, and I know like all I can do is wait for the next day, and I'll just do what I always did to help myself get to sleep. I'll start counting down from 10,000. All right, 999, 998, 997.
Alrighty. The elk's Constitution saving throw is a 12. Awesome. That was perfect. Oh, praise Helm! I feel so much better after that, guys. That was great. And I'm gonna climb on top of my giant elk since it remains for the rest of the day. And yeah, I'm ready with me and my compatriots and my nice little animal companions.
I feel long rested. I don't know about you guys.
Hmm. Guys, I know people that have been chasing their own personal dragons for quite some time. People who ride in the lightning, they just don't get off of it sometimes. So, I don't know what this path's going to take us, but chasing that dragon, it sometimes doesn't end out the best.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Tug, I couldn't have said it better myself.
You could have sung it better.
I appreciate that. I could have. Thank you.
I think I'm going to turn over a new leaf with you, Billy.
There was a lot of leaves in the town that we just came from, so that's what I like to call ironic. But I'm all for it.
I'm on him today. I'm having it. High five.
Can he jump up to the height of a giant elk and high five me from the top?
Have it. I mean,
All right.
I'm
That was
kind
good.
of
That was
tall.
a good high five.
I'm tall too. Don't forget.
Well, this is a giant elk, and elks are already pretty big.
Yeah, but I got jumps.
Got
And
I just saw that. That was a pretty good high five I thought we had there.
I got jumps. Sound like a really cool dad. I say we just head further in the forest. I think it's going to take us in the general direction of the dragon.
Alrighty.
Ranger spoken. Let's go.
Do 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 do.
Tyrell's with us, right?
I might be
Somebody
trailing
wait time out.
I might not be right there with him because I'm actually kind of looking around. I want to see if I can't find a feather or some fur from a beast. Technically, I need to find like a large, like aggressive being.
Kobe's got a couple that are hanging out with us right now. You could probably ask.
Oh, Tyrell, you say you need a feather of a beast, huh?
Or fur.
Oh, I happen to have an owlbear feather.
You do, don't you?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Could hey Tyrell, what do I need to look for to make a you to make me a sling? Obviously like
for your
some
arm?
No. No, for my
Marble.
Like a
no,
slingshot.
my winged sling bullet. My snitch.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we could any kind of, sturdy kind of wood or metal of some sort would serve as the fork piece. But in order to find something elastic, that's what's going to be tough.
I mean, I was thinking kind of like a string sling, like David and Goliath style,
Does that work?
Why can't you make it?
Because I have a man who specializes in making things.
He only.
But I
So
get where Ranger Steve is saying is like, well, if you're just going to put a string and a stick together, why don't you do it?
Yeah. I feel like he needs to get his hand back, or he's got some other ideas.
So, Tyrell, what are you trying to make and need a feather for?
Feather is for a spell that I can use for the group if we come into handy. It's called Enhance Ability. If I got a feather,
here's a spell. You don't have to convince me anymore.
Okay.
And I'll hand over my. I like the way that we're walking on there. So I hand over my.
Tyrell wins.
Feather. What else did you need?
Not for this time, but something we can be keeping an eye. I think Ranger Steve actually found some iron in a session or two ago.
No, I don't have any.
But I wrote.
No, we've got a huge sack full of iron, so yes.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It's now in a sack, but yes.
right. I don't think it's gonna be handy this.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't remember it being that much, but that's great. Does it look like it's?
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that I should send the.
Oh, there it is.
I'm thinking I should send the boar through first.
I don't know if we need to.
And so all the trees have gotten pretty thick up to this point. It looks like, this is a stop in the road. Um, hmm. Let's see here. I could send the boar through, but if he gets through and is unable to come back and let us know that it's safe, there wouldn't be a way for us to tell unless maybe we had a rope or something to tie to him, and you know if he could continue to pull it from the other side, maybe that would help.
We'll just see if the boar can knock on it really lightly with his tusks.
Okay, that's fine. I'm cool for that. So yeah, I'll command the boar to go forward and kind of rub up on this thing.
X marks the spot. Let's get going, guys. So they don't look scary. They look, like we should touch them.
Ranger Steve, have you seen flowers like these in a forest before?
I've seen this type of hue in the red. I've seen in blue, and they were not good flowers.
Did they have
They were
red
Can I use
thorns?
Can I use my crystal ball of seeing? Well, I'd like to just take a good look at the whole structure and then maybe at the flowers. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
can I've never really done this, but can I use it to just like examine the group, everyone, just so I have a bearing of what is not like? Do they
Oh, I'm all natural, baby.
would like do they would they basically give off the same view, as this? Am I seeing something? Okay, well, just com- as hey guys, as comparing what we're looking at here to comparing, with us being who we are, like this is obviously this isn't magic, this isn't trickery. So I think we might be dealing with maybe a living creature here, maybe something of the forest, like the tree.
Hmm. Um, can I have my boar sniff on these flowers and see if maybe that they're the boar would detect if those are good or bad or neutral,
Or if he dies.
or if he dies. Yeah,
Tell us what you really want to do.
yeah. Use I want him to kind of use his animal instincts here to you know and maybe sense back if it's good, bad, or you know Gotcha. Tyrell, can you light these things on fire with your cantrip?
I was about to say, just throw a fireball at it. Before you do that, can I just yell out hello?
Hmm.
So
Can I? So
all
hey,
Tyrell can think back to is it may be kind of meta, but the question of today of what is the place of the that I didn't write down, so I don't remember the name. But it came down to what I did write down is crystal spheres, and those are interconnected through portals, and this sort of sure seems sort of like portal esque. And the last time, this may be like a test of, you know, the last time we threw caution to the wind and ran into a portal, it didn't turn out so good.
Seems
So,
very coincidental.
Mm.
yeah.
Have to do with.
No, I think it's ironic.
so where are we? Where are we at on my sling? We just kind of like.
Your answer.
I think we decided that if you can just do that yourself, if it needs to be like a
Well,
throwing sling or
So
whatever.
basically, you need some rubber. And the only way I can think of to make rubber is to
Or
find
some leather. Just some leather.
So
I
can
don't
I not?
it's not elastic enough. I'm trying to help you here. If you can find for me, what I'm looking for is some flowers, specifically like some dandelions. And I think we see some flowers in front of us.
Oh
Technically,
god.
we can
So
produce latex from the flowers, and I can potentially make an elastic
Hey,
band.
Christian, I want to take out my third hand and throw it at these flowers.
You're gonna lose your third hand.
Oh, that's a waste of a good hand.
So can I not just like take my logger axe and cut a strip off of my blue sun sail to make just a simple throwing sling? Can I? So I do that.
But you have one shot, so what if it doesn't work?
What?
You have one shot with it, so what if it doesn't work?
Well, I mean, it's a sling. Like I feel like we can operate slings. Why are you trying to make things complicated right now? Well, okay. I picked up a bunch of clean rocks. Can I take a clean rock out of my bag of
There you
holding?
go. Now you're thinking. That's
I'm just gonna turn around and pick a tree in the background. Maybe a considerable distance, but not just like insane. And I'm gonna put the rock in it, start slinging the sling over my head, and then let one fly.
I'm going to cover while he's, whipping the thing around his head. I'm going to cover my face with my hands. So
It's not a natural 20. I got an 18 plus 2.
Oh, nice job.
So okay, so like Okay, well, real quick before I turn around, like, how do I feel about that? Do I feel like I'm competent? I mean, I got like a high roll. Like, was that a high? Like, do I feel like do I? So,
I want to whisper to Tug, "Hey, great shot," and then yell out, "Hey, don't attack these trees!"
oh, I turn around at this point and I notice the spikes, and I'm like, oh, that seemed aggressive. I'm sorry. I was just trying something.
Oh,
Okay,
we
so
try apologizing our way through this thing.
well, we could try that, but I still need to know if I'm like proficient or able to use this thing.
It sounds like you're fine as long as you roll high enough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna roll an 18. I need to know like how low can I go? You know.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say like,
Legendary.
but I'm assuming it still has the same attributes as a thrown or shot weapon. Then you still have to roll the same.
Well, like the range with this bullet is a long range. It's 60 to 240. But I mean, like, I just want to know where's my 60 and where's my 240 at. You know, like
No.
obviously, yeah. You know, like obviously 240 would probably be like a D20, but where's my 60? You know. Okay. I'm just Well, I just don't want to, I don't want to go to use this thing and roll like a 2 and just be fucked. That's all I was getting at. But yeah, yeah, because I'm not like skilled at range weapons. At least I don't have it written down somewhere. I don't believe I am. Um, yeah, I might. I might. You don't know that. So, hey guys, I feel like this might be, the living essence of the forest. So we might be able to like show the forest that we're not here to chop it down and do the evil things that the town has been doing to the enchanted forest. I
Hey,
feel like
that's a good idea.
I feel like we may have like a misunderstanding of the forest. I was a little confused by the short discussion that Ranger had with the tree. You know, I remember I remember elf's blood and the forest growing and getting stronger, and but yet it didn't seem like the forest was evil, but yet there's this town with an evil person in it giving them the power to cut it down. So does anybody else have like a take on that? I tried to talk about this last week, but we ran out of time. Like,
Hello, Thorns. We are the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. How do you do?
does he still have his hand over his face though?
It was just while you were slinging rocks around. Is it also on a giant elk? Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Hey, Christian, real
It
quick.
wants your name. It wants your name.
Your voice is not coming through on the video. I had a buddy checking it out, and he's like, he couldn't hear you at all. And I just verified I don't hear you.
I hear the rest of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo
Yeah,
too.
the rest of us are coming through.
I tell the little figure that is Billy Banger.
What?
My name is Billy. My name is what? Banger. My name is who? Billy Banger. My name is Billy. My name is what? Oh, now I'm hearing my echo again. My name is who? Billy Banger. Billy. My name is what? Oh, now I'm hearing my echo again. Who?
Properties.
Oh no, that was me, and the video was playing.
Yeah.
That's what
That
I
was
said.
interesting. Sing a song. Continue talking. What was Josh's last question? No, it's still nothing.
Default. Properties. How about now? That seems like it's picking something up. Yes, no, nothing? Still no? Jared? Jared?
It's got you. You're echoing. It's picking you up. You're coming through, but you're like echoed. So it's like it's picking you up twice, and they're off that just a little bit.
They're offset. I mean, it'll be offset in the...
Well, no, not like that. I mean, like it's you. It's like hearing you twice, and your voice is coming through twice and off. So it's like.
That makes you spookier.
I mean, for effect, it's great.
How about now? Is it different now? That time when I was speaking? Or is it still doubling up?
This is like the time I couldn't tell if my outboard was stuck in reverse or forward, and I kept asking, are we moving forward or are we moving backwards?
I don't know.
If my outboard was stuck in reverse or forward, I kept asking, are we moving?
Hello.
That's funny. No, it's still like I could hear Josh. Like everybody else seems fine, but yours is still doing a double.
Are your settings any different because you're hosting both YouTube and Discord, Christian?
Yeah, I mean they're a little different. It's what I'm having OBS Studio pick up.
Right.
So I shouldn't show up on the desktop audio, which I'm not. but my mic is
That-
picking it up.
Is that's exactly what my assumption would be, is that you're picking up desktop and your microphone at the same time. But
Yeah, I can see those two, and that's not an issue. I don't know. Oh,
I mean, your desktop should be running to capture us, right? Isn't that what it's doing?
yeah.
But do you have the stream running?
I do have the stream running.
Do you have it muted?
You better go catch it.
Like I said, I'm not picking up any of my audio on the desktop. It's not coming through on that end. Like I would see it bump. Anytime I see you guys speak on my desktop audio through Discord, it registers on the feed, but it's not registering when I speak. Let me try and switch it to something else. Just go through.
Yeah.
How about now? I switched it to just the microphone close to my mouth and not the one that's on the boom. Did that change anything?
So that did solve the duplicate
Mm-hmm.
sound, but now there's a lot of airy feedback in the background, like a constant static that's pretty loud.
Is that static lower now? Like, not there?
No, not the one.
Or is it still picking up that static? Yes? No? Check, Jared. Can you tell if it's changed? No? Yes?
Jared, can you hear him?
Yeah, sorry, I guess nobody could see the chat. Christian sounds good. Can everybody else have a piece? So just double check everybody else.
Hello.
What up?
Hi.
Good now?
And that's the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo too, everybody.
All their catchphrases. You're stuck with them. You can't change them.
Okay, Crisis averted. We're all good now.
Okay, so no more static
I
or
felt a
whatever.
little robotic, but I think that's just because of how I'm running mine. So, oh well.
Did the Thornbush react to Tug?
So how, I guess, is the what did Tug do to the lattice work here?
The last thing Tug was trying to do was he was saying this is Billy Banger, and he was pointing at me while looking at the thorns.
Okay. So as Tug is trying to introduce himself and Billy to the thorns, you have another violet flowered figure sort of emerge from the lattice work and reveal itself in the very distinct shape of Tug with his Ledupulip armor.
I can barely hear you now.
Let me change.
Oh, now I can hear you really well.
Yep. Now you're back.
How about now? It should be fine now, right? Yeah.
Now I cannot hear you at all.
Okay.
Can confirm when you said let me change and we could all hear you much better. It also was in the video, so we're good.
Now you're back.
Apparently, me changing that in Discord was not. It's fine. I'll just use both. I got one.
Okay, so
I got one for
I-
Discord for you guys, and I got one for OBS.
So yes, Tug, what were you gonna say?
Hi, I'm Tug. I wave.
So it sort of waves back. It's not the same exact wave, but it's a friendly gesture. It's a response.
And then I ask, who are you? And I put my hands on my chest and I reach out like it did to us.
So you see the two figures sort of disappear. The fluid motion of the new flowers sort of change and whirl around, and you see the same crescent moon. The white flowers sort of emerge, sort of twists upside down, and you see this red flower sort of emerge from one of the little points on the crescent moon. It sort of forms this little globule, this little blood droplet, and it sort of falls down. This is like this giant moving television, essentially now, just with flowers as all the colors. You see this drop of blood fall and fall. The moon sort of moves off of this lattice work. You see the blood drop sort of hit and splash and create this circle on what you appear to be the ground. And then all of these sort of violet flowers start to grow and take human shape out of this pool that the blood droplet sort of formed. And you see that these are humanoid creatures. You can't really make out.
The blood of the elves? I asked the blood of the elves, like...
So you get sort of a little bit of a color-changing flourish. You get, like, all the flowers sort of enhance a little bit. They become more vibrant, but not in this, like, dangerous vibrance that you had earlier, but everything's just more saturated. So they sort of become more saturated for a second and then go back to their original color, like it's answering you in some way.
Spirit. So you're the spirit of the elves, the souls.
So the colors become a little bit more muted this time. They dim in there.
Maybe of an elf. Maybe blood of the father elf.
So you see the flowers again saturate. All of the sort of small violet flowers that were making up small humanoids sort of takes its own shape now. In front of you, on the latticework, is what appears to be the silhouette of an elf. You can see that it's not just a silhouette anymore either. The flowers sort of develop and create this figure before you, essentially made of the different colored flowers, that appears in the image, the visage of an elf.
Okay, so
can I get that hand back?
it sort of pushes the hand on the ground back out.
I'll have my boar pick it up and bring it back to me.
You're able to do that. Yes, the boar picks the hand up.
Oh, I'm gonna put it back in my.
Brings it back to you. You notice it's in a little bit more disrepair than it was previously.
Okay.
Does it still have its 6 health or 6 HP?
It does.
Okay, good.
But it's it's dirty now.
Okay, so you're the elder elf. Can I call you that?
So it sort of dims its saturation again. It becomes more muted and returns to its original color.
Okay, sorry. No.
We're looking to kill a dragon. Can we get? Is the way through here?
So it sort of flashes vibrantly and then flashes muted pale colors again. Like, it knows that you're seeking the dragon, and yes, it is farther beyond this point, but you get the sense that with the gestures of the elf made of flowers and the response from the colors, that they are not on good terms with this dragon.
How? What? Okay,
How
guys.
do you do?
Guys, what are you thinking? Like, what's going through y'all's head right now? Okay, so we saw the blood droplets. We know that the blood of the elves are what is powering this forest. We're obviously, like, this is obviously an important elf, or the spirits of the elf. Like, what are y'all thinking? Where are y'all at right now?
I've never met a flower person before. Ranger Steve, have you met any flower people?
No. Is this like a gate to like a town or something? Or is this just a, can we enter this area?
So, the flower elf sort of shrugs its shoulders and offers a handout like, how do I know I can trust you?
Can I? Oh,
We're attempting to slay the dragon. We just blew off half of its head.
So you see the elf sort of fold its arms and put one of its hands under its chin and kind of think on that for a second and say, with its hand kind of gesturing to elaborate further.
Is there a way I can connect with you? Is there a way we can connect more thoroughly?
So it sort of tilts its head like, it doesn't think so. You're pretty much going to be limited to this gesture exchange, these hand motions.
Oh, we're doing charades.
Yeah.
In a
Okay.
sense.
So, what do we got to work with
You're-
here? We got.
You're
I'm
doing
gonna
charades
pretend, I'm
with-
gonna pretend to be the dragon. I'm gonna flap my arms
Okay.
and pretend to be the dragon.
So you're on an elk. You're on the elk, and you're going to act like a dragon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, give me prisoners. I kill everybody inside giant tree.
Okay. I'm going to ask Billy to quit swinging his axe at me. Okay, Ranger, I need you to do exactly what you did last night, which is stand there in complete utter fear and kiss. And then Tyrell,
Can the boar play me? Yes,
I
the
think
boar will play me. I think this.
They just want to know. I think they just want to know more about why we're even attacking the dragon. With the dragon. So.
No,
I don't know. I think he wants
you
charades.
see the flower elf sort of put its hand out like, yeah. It just
You're taking it way too far. We need to describe wwhy we're in the forest, what we're doing here. If we mean harm to the forest.
I mean, I just thought he might like a reenactment of what all went down. I mean, I didn't know.
The flower elf turns to you and is like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone take their places, you know.
Okay, the boar is going to
It's
play
a waste
Billy.
of time.
The boar's going to play Billy. I'll play the part of the dragon on top of the giant elk. Ranger Steve, sounds like you're playing yourself. Tug, are you going to play Tyrell, or you going to play yourself here?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, really, who else could embody that of Tug better?
Well, I
than
was
that?
thinking Tyrell. He's been pretty good with a lot of his speeches lately.
So
no, we don't have to.
You see the elf kind of cross its arms again and it taps its foot in impatience a little bit.
So, guys, why are we here? We came to the forest because we were told that we needed to collect things to save a friend, but he's already died, and we've gathered more information that we're not positive that who sent us here is even trustworthy, but we want to save our friend. And then we met this other ghost guy who we can only save him by killing the dragon because he told us that we need to save him. And
I want to clarify that neither of those guys were actually my friends.
but
I'm here because I'm part of the group.
But now we're questioning things because we originally were told that forest was evil, and that's why the town people were trying to cut it down. But now I'm not so certain on that because it sounds like the elves were massacred. So I'm really confused, and I would love some of your input, Flower Elf,
So you
Elder Elf.
you see the flower elf sort of step aside as you see a tree sort of sprout up from the flowers and grow, and then the elf sort of holds its like stomach and bends over, and you see that it's sick. It's you know, something is wrong. The forest has grown, and the elf himself is sick. It then sort of changes the tree into a dragon, and you see the elf pull out a bow and shoot an arrow at the dragon, and the dragon sort of avoids the arrow and flies off, sort of fading into the distance that is created with this perspective of the flowers on the latticework.
Yeah, that's kind of what we did, but we hit the dragon.
So the dragon is poisoning the forest.
So the elf sort of shakes its head and points again to the tree that is created in the flowers and says, like, puts his one hand on the tree and then one hand on itself, and then sort of makes the same sickening doubled over motion.
Oh, are the treants killing you?
So it again sort of shakes its head, and it steps aside, and you see the tree sort of shrink down, and it is at equal size and distance from the elf. And the elf sort of taps on itself and taps on the tree and motions that they are one and the same.
So are you connected to the treant that we just communicated with?
So it shakes its head, sort of not connected to the treant like it's connected to the rest of the forest, but it is connected in some way. It sort of moves its hand around in a motion like they're all connected in some way, shape, or form. But specifically the trees in the forest and the forest as an ecosystem, that they are connected in that way.
But y'all are sick. Let's just simple this out. Like, the forest is sick.
Yes.
The dragon is a problem.
Yes.
Will killing the dragon solve the problem?
So the elf sort of nods its head to left and right and makes you get the sense that it couldn't hurt the situation, that elves and dragons are mortal enemies, that they do not get along. The dragon sort of takes this form and eats a bunch of these tiny little elves that the landscape has provided with you with these flowers. It shows that the dragon enjoys eating elves for sustenance.
So are there elves still in the forest?
So as you're speaking to the latticework, you notice Tyrell trying to sneak away from the group. But he's very obviously sneaking away from the group.
Hey, Tyrell, before you get out of here and go on a 5-minute break, what do you think about the situation?
I didn't think you could see me.
Oh, we wouldn't miss you, bud.
Oh. Okay.
Just speak up there. I got you as loud as I can get you.
I'm not gonna lie. My mind was still kind of enamored by the will-o-wisps taking over my mind.
Are the will-o-wisps part of the elves?
So the elf kind of again motions that the will-o-wisps are part of this ecosystem, part of this forest. You see the flower elf again sort of gesture at the lattice work, and the lattice work goes through these different creatures, the owl bears, the treants, the will-o-wisps, the death knight. Everything that you have encountered so far is part of this world, part of this ecosystem. It's all interconnected in some way, shape, or form. Even the dragon itself, while it may be a negative effect on the elves themselves, it is still part of this forest, this greater Lambrose.
Well, yeah, that's not helping us. Like,
What's nice? Can we get by you safely?
So,
Tyrell, what are you not telling us? Why were you trying to leave?
Because he's like,
as Tug is
he's like a
asking
dark
Tyrell
elf, isn't
that
he?
question, the flower elf nods his head yes and sort of steps aside, and a doorway sort of splits open as the latticework comes unfurled.
Oh, I'm gonna send my boar through first.
All right. It extends the latticework all the way out to its maximum, but it has enough room for your boar to go through. So on the other side, your boar sees a clearing in a circle and a giant pond, which borders on the distance of a lake, I would assume. But the water is sort of this chrome sheen to it. It is very blue, it is very pure, but it has almost a metallic nature to it. And it is a perfect circle. It is.
Can I get
I'm
in
gonna order the boar to come back through just to make sure it can come back.
It comes through, no problem. So it enters
Okay.
and
Yeah, guys. Looks like we can go on through.
Can I get in that water?
If you want to approach and try and get in the water, you are welcome to do that.
I'm still talking to Flower Elf.
Oh, you're asking the flower elf a question. So he sort of shakes his head and crosses his hands in like a sideways motion, like it is frowned upon. It is bad.
Okay, so don't get in the water. We will respect thy water.
Is there a local sheriff's office inside?
It kind of is puzzled. It doesn't really know what you're asking, Sheriff.
Oh, okay. Well, Tyrell, since you were ready to get out of here, maybe you should go first.
Since you still have
just so we don't lose you.
Tyrell, are you going to go through the gate first?
No, guys. I think I needed to pick something up over here first.
Well, what are you looking for? We can all help you.
Well, I've got a list here. Some gum, some bugs, some moss, some wire, eyelashes, talc, some spider webs.
I want to ask the flower elves if they recognize Tyrell.
So the flower elf kind of shakes his head like, nah. You see just beyond the gateway, there's like a breeze of leaves and flower petals, and they sort of blow in the wind and create this, what looks like a little marionette like stage, like a little box, like you've seen these with puppet shows before.
Can I perceive any traps?
Yeah, give me a perception roll, D20. Wisdom modifier.
I'll go ahead as he's rolling. I'll go ahead and admit I had an entirely different thought process planned out here, but was too late and failed. So listen for the bonus content
Christian, I got
after
total
the
of 18.
episode for the information. But we can just continue now.
I think the group wants to know right now.
I feel like you're being intervention. Like
I had an entire thing planned and it ruined because I waited too
It's
long to text
It's
Christian.
content. He's always like dicking around, and then he's like, "By the way, this whole time it did or did not work."
I mean, he texted me and I gave him a stealth check and he rolled a 4, so he was discovered by you guys.
I got an 18 on that
There you
perception.
go.
What were you doing, Tyrell?
So your passive perception, Billy, in this instance is you get the vibe, the very strong sense that these creatures, these elves or trees or whatever they be, are not here to harm you unless, you give them a reason to.
Oh,
So
well,
whether
okay.
it be what's beyond the gate, or the gate itself, yes, these things have a potential to do damage, but they're not inherently evil.
Oh, well, I'll take one for the group, and I'll head through. Can my giant elk
Yep.
fit and my badger?
So
come through?
your
Awesome.
elk sort of, lowers its antlers to make it through and emerges out, and you yourself can now see that there are these enormous trees that extend up beyond the canopy. Something
Oh,
banged
guys, it
outside
looks
my house.
real nice up in here. You guys should come on through. Tyrell, you definitely need to join and not avoid conversations with the group here.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna
Billy,
step through.
Billy sort of calls back. Ranger Steve, you step out and you notice the same thing, the sort of metallic sheen to the perfect circle of water in the center of the clearing. Beautiful flower petals floating through the breeze. You look closer with your sort of ranger sight, and you notice that these flowers, these leaves in the wind, they tend to take the form of elves, but they're very fluid. They don't stay in one place for very long. They're all over the place, though. Tyrell, Tug, you guys coming through? You gonna hash
Yeah.
it out about this stuff?
No, if Tyrell's not going to be forthcoming, I'm just going to go through.
All right.
There's nothing to be forthcoming about. This is Jared, the character. I mean, the player telling you I had something else planned for Tyrell, and it did not pan out, and I didn't adapt well. So I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm going through. Tyrell's going through.
All right. You run through. The lattice work kind of closes behind you. Not in a scary fashion, just a secure, shutting off the trail, just like it was when you first approached it. The flower elf sort of continues forward and gestures you towards this box, this little stage that you can only assume is some sort of puppet show or marionette show. Not too dissimilar from the one you just encountered outside with the lattice work. So it sort of gestures to the box, and then it sort of gestures around to the pond and all the large trees and all the sort of inhabitants of this location. And I'm going to jump over to another screen, and I'm going to share a little puppet show with you guys.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Awesome. Can I have my badger and my boar kind of keep an eye out for in case anybody tries to approach us? Yep, I can see it.
Oh man.
Oh, hey, there's my god up there.
Oh man.
Tug, I don't see you up on this board.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
He's in the water. to snap my fingers in applause.
I'm wiping some tears away from my eye, knowing the justice that Helms brought.
I mean, yeah, Helm. Without him, Lolth
We have nothing.
may have succeeded in completely overthrowing, but Helm, who sees all, was able to at least be that mediator, not involve himself, but provide the truth to everyone.
And that's all we can strive for, is not to involve ourselves in other people's affairs, but to let them know who we are and that we see all.
Yeah.
So these elves aren't spirits, like these are real elves,
They are real elves.
but they're flower elves.
So, based on
You can't say it's 2020. You can't call them that.
based on their current condition and the way that the one before you has explained things, you pick up that the growth of the forest has become somewhat out of control. Like, the blood of Corellin falling to Lambrose has saturated this earth with his creation and has soaked itself into the roots of the trees themselves, the elves themselves. Like, Corellin himself was this creature, this elf that was a shapeshifter and could do and be anything. You get the same sense of these elves, but they're limited within the forest and limited to their creation based on what they have in front of them. So they cannot, duplicate themselves, or not duplicate, but imitate like a Doppler can, but they can imitate within the natural abilities of the forest. They can manipulate those to do what they want. So they were elves at one point, but they have now since become these sort of at one with nature creatures against their own will.
So how do we go about setting y'all free? How do we set them free?
He sort of somberly shakes her head, and they don't have an answer for that. They seem resigned to their fate.
Have you all tried to leave the forest before?
So the flower elf shakes its head, and he sort of gestures back to the marionette box, and it shows an elf leaving the threshold of an edge of the forest and just blowing away in the wind. But it also shows...
Can you say that again, Christian, when they got to the edge of the forest?
It just...
Sorry, you cut out
You're
there.
fine. It blows away. Like the leaves and the flowers that are making up the elf. It crosses the threshold of the forest, and they're just blown away in the wind. You also see that... like Pocahontas. You also see that the forest, it sort of starts small on this little map that it creates and is sort of expanding outward. Like it's continuing to grow.
So is this the center of the forest? Are we at the center of the forest?
So the flower elf kind of shakes its head about being at the center. And it's not necessarily the center, but it is a point of origin. It is growing in different directions at different speeds. It at once was the very center of the forest, but has since sort of expanded to reaches that it couldn't go beyond. Like it hits a river or an ocean, it can't go farther there, so it continues to grow in another direction.
Are there any postcards that you guys have for tourists?
The flower elf sort of looks at you like, postcard? What?
Yeah, little souvenirs to let everybody know that, you've traveled here.
You see the flower elf kind of scratch its head, and it sort of holds out its hand, and a white flower with this little crescent moon design on it blooms in its hand, and it kind of offers it to you.
Oh, well, that goes into my inventory. Thank you very much.
Do you know of Euphoria?
So the flower elf shakes its head yes.
Is it an enemy?
It shakes its head no, it is not an enemy.
Is this the pool of the drink? What's that drink you're always wanting?
This is not the pool. No.
So the flower elf kind of points at the
it's not.
pool and says that this is the blood of Corellin. This is where it fell to the earth and created us.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
So what if we drank of the blood?
The flower elf sort of points to itself and sort of holds out its hand and like makes a gesture that is blowing on its hand, and its hand sort of, disintegrates with the force of the wind, the gesture.
So bad for us. We don't want that.
Yes.
What are these little shops that are around here inside the village? Can you tell us what's all here?
So they're not shops, but they are just the leftover structures from the great civilization when the elves actually had use for physical structures. So they are essentially carved trees, but without all the, nasty bits of carving something. It's just naturally created.
Can you guide us through this forest? Can you help us?
So the flower elf kind of makes a gesture that they are containing it as best as they can, that the walls outside that you crossed were not necessarily to keep things out, but to keep the blood of Corellin from getting out.
So he
Is there
can't.
anyone to stop it?
He again sort of somberly shakes his head like they don't know. They couldn't stop it with themselves. The flower elf again kind of points at her arm and says that they can't stop it themselves, but they can do their best to contain it.
And could this blood be used as, like let's just say we put them in a bottle and then, dip some arrows in them and shot these arrows at a dragon?
You see the elf immediately shake its hands and head, no.
Oh, no, of course. What was I thinking? That's just silly. I just wanted to make sure.
He sort of makes a gesture like it would grow. It would get bigger.
So don't let the dragon have this.
She again shakes her head, yes.
Can we poison the blood pool? Have you guys tried to destroy the blood pool?
She shakes her head that they have tried, but to no success, no spell that they could create, and it may be that it's because it is the same sort of essence that created them that they cannot destroy what created them, but they don't know.
I understand. I'm a follower of Helm.
You should have said I see.
Can I use the crystal ball to look at the pool?
Sure. So you pull out your crystal ball of true sight and
Just throw it in there.
notice the flower elf sort of look at you with curiosity, and looking through the crystal ball of true sight and at the pool, you notice that it is giving off a magical essence, stronger than anything you've seen before through the crystal ball of true sight, but you can only take the flower elf at its word. You don't know what kind of magic this is, whether it be good, bad, whether they told you the truth, whether the story was true, if all this is a charade. The only thing you can tell is that there is great magical power contained within the pond.
So
Well,
what
with
if,
great power comes great responsibility. It seems like you guys have a nice setup here. So.
They got the responsibility part
what
down,
if-
that's for sure.
what if we started pilling the blood into the bag of infinite storage?
So the flower elf kind of looks a little bit puzzled and like opens up with its hands like a bag. Like it doesn't understand. What do you mean infinite?
Like, it could hold it. It will forever hold the blood.
So it kind of gestures like it wants to see how.
Hey, can we huddle for a sec? Guys, can we huddle for a sec?
You're welcome to if you want.
If the crew wants to follow me, I'll go ahead and like walk.
Did everyone get their souvenirs?
No one else asked for a flower, but you're willing
Okay.
if you want to.
Not meaning to leave indefinitely. Like we should talk to them or communicate. I should say talk at them. But I want to like see if everyone wants to like walk over and just talk for a second.
Yes, a huddle sounds good.
Okay, is everyone like here and we're kind of like out of main earshot? Like if they were really listening, they could, but also I'm not that worried because they can't even talk. Like,
I want to make sure that my badger and my boar are also in on the huddle in case they have anything to add.
Oh, they're there. They're right behind you.
Okay, good.
okay, so hey guys, listen. I've been pondering this, and I'm ultimately confused. Like, yes, this is one side of the story, right? Like, I don't want to take this as for granted. I'm an elf myself. I'm from a dark sect of elves. Like, I don't want to not believe this story. There's nothing facetiously said here that I think is in any kind of intention to do us wrong. But also, like, look at who we're talking to. They don't even have any developed speech. All they can do is gesture. They're not the brightest bunch. Maybe we should try to find a second opinion before we put all our eggs in the basket of that this story is 100% true. It sounds like there's probably another side that might meet a little closer in the middle of what the actual truth is.
We should ask Helm.
There's nothing really to act on here either. I mean,
Exactly.
Well, I was thinking maybe we go through all these houses.
Yeah, I mean, before we leave,
well, I want to ask them a little bit about Edgewood. So far, that one guy is the only one person to be able to cut through these trees, and apparently these trees are all within the spread of this blood. Do they know of that guy?
That's
Do
the
they know
other
what his
thing
power is?
Well, the other thing that is odd to me, and we can ask him, is so essentially this blood has fallen to create an erratically spreading forest out in differing speeds in different directions until it can no longer grow, and yet the forest itself seems to, which sounds evil, right? It's like it's not what they wanted to happen because it was by this other elf that was super pretty and was a dick. But at the same time, this forest has been nothing but protective and good of those that live in it. So how I don't, I'm a little lost myself.
well, that's what I was saying. Is originally we thought this was evil forest, but it really hasn't given us anything to think it evil.
Yeah, just a couple deaths and an owlbear and a dragon.
Death Knight.
Yeah, it's
Well, I mean, they've been able to contain it as best as they can, and maybe it's just it's grown to live with its own disease.
I mean, I still think maybe trying to dump it all into the infinite bag of storage isn't a bad idea.
Why is that not a bad idea?
Because then it's gone. Like, it's done. It's just stored.
I'm gonna be honest, this does not sound like it's our problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can gather as much information we can from this, but I don't think they have no idea how we could ever help them.
They didn't even ask for our help. We just asked to get into the town to pass on through.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is a good information spot as best we can gather it, but
Yeah, well then let's just pillage the structures and move on about our day.
I'm okay with that. I like that.
put our hands in the middle, pillage on 3.
okay. While they're pillaging, I want to ask them if they know anything about it.
Do you break the huddle with 1, 2, 3 pillage, or
Yeah.
can I get that? I'll count down to 3 if you guys want to break it.
Okay.
not
right.
breaking the hunt with 1, 2, 3 pillage.
One, two, three.
Pillage.
Talk the elves.
Billy's like, great huddle. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. Ranger Steve, you go back over to the flower elf to ask your questions, and then I need to know what the rest of you, where you're gonna go, what point of interest you want to check out here. So I've labeled the different towers with different sort of markers here. You can check out the pond.
Closest one.
So the closest one to you is, I guess, the one with the yellow here. So this one.
Yeah.
Solid jump, bud.
Billy, Tyrell, where do you guys want to head off to? Or do you want to ask more questions? Tag along.
I mean, I thought we were doing this together. I mean,
I thought you guys were splitting up.
Yeah, splitting up always sounds best when we're looking for clues. So I'm gonna go to the one with the green triangle.
All right. Just make sure Billy isn't alone with things he can harm.
Even better jump.
Yeah, I'm taking off over here, guys. I'm sure I'll see you in a little while.
Tyrell, what you want to do?
Well, my original thought was to stay with Billy, but
Don't
I
jump
heard
in the water.
I heard we need to split up, and that's what I took as the last thing that should probably what we should do. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's true. Completely forgetting that Billy should probably have a close eye. So, red cube, has that been?
It has not.
I'm going up there then.
Okie dokie. All right. Ranger Steve, since you were the first to determine what you wanted to do, go ahead and ask away.
We enter the forest through Edgewood, and there's lots of lore about entering the forest and not coming back. But they also were a pretty surprising, efficient logging company, and they had the ability to chop down the trees, which apparently nobody else can do. Do you know anything about that?
So, you see the elf scratch her head and sort of take in what you've said about people cutting down the trees, and she doesn't seem to believe you. She sort of says that you can't cut these trees down. What do you mean?
Can I pull out my axe and show it to her?
Yeah. So you pull the axe out, and she sort of asks you to set it on the little kiosk or whatever to her right, and you see the flowers sort of hover over it and then quickly like shuffle away. Like there's something off about it. There's something not natural. And you see a response in her, and Flower Elf immediately says that this is a cursed thing. This is a dark magic. This is something that, why do you have this?
I was pretty curious to how one person was able to convince an entire town that they could chop down these trees when nobody else could. So before we left the town, I broke into their storage area and took one of these. And that's pretty much as far as I made it. We talked to the tree. The tree didn't know a whole lot about it. And so, yeah, we've not run into anybody who was able to decipher or tell us really what he was able to do to these weapons to be able to chop through the trees.
So he communicates to you that this is a cursed weapon. He doesn't know in what fashion or how it was cursed, but he has noticed that the forest, as it approaches Edgewood, has been yielded. Like, it continues to grow in other areas, but the only two things that have managed to stop it in any capacity whatsoever are large bodies of water and, for some reason, the town of Edgewood.
Can I throw it into the pond?
Sure.
I'm asking. I'm not.
Okay.
Just gonna do it. Yeah.
So.
Or touch the pond with it.
She sort of hesitantly shakes her head like you can, but she urges you to not be connected to it when you touch it to the pond.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But if you'd like to go over to the pond's edge and do that, you can.
Okay.
All right, so you kind of keep your distance a little bit, and you chuck the axe out there. And as the axe sort of touches the surface of the water, you see it sort of skip once, and the like chrome splashes of water shine with the light. And as it submerges itself in the water, you see like a little bit of a whirl and some splashing, and you see a little tree sprout up out of it with the metal axe head sort of lodged within the body of the tree. It's turned the dead wood inside of it. It couldn't manipulate the steel, but it manipulated the organic sort of tree matter, and it created this sort of cancerous tree-looking structure that is now sticking out of the pond.
Hey guys.
So about the time he says, "Hey guys," Tug is over to his giant wooden tree structure. And Tug, you sort of take a peek inside, and you see a giant spiraling staircase that goes all the way to the top. You explore the inside of it. Go ahead and give me a D20 perception to see if you find anything. If you're looking for something specific, let me know, and that may change things for you.
I mean, right now I'm looking for anything that would store, chests, cabinets, drawers.
So there don't appear to be many, like, wares, containers of any kind. All the things in here seem rather unused for a long time, or have been sort of grown into the structure itself. Like, if anything of the furniture that once belonged or wooden structures has since been sort of absorbed back into and reclaimed by this structure. So no containers of any kind are located in this tower.
Well, I rolled 9, if that has any bearing.
You find, some odds and ends. You notice a couple metal things here and there. Ancient-looking sort of arrow heads, like tips. But the shafts are long since reclaimed by the trees. But you don't find much else other than that. Probably about three or four, I'd say 4 steel ancient arrowheads. We'll jump over to Billy.
Hey, I have a quick question for Rain or for Cameron.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, all I ever wrote down was logger axe. Didn't me and you go do that together? How come yours is enchanted? Like, is mine supposed to be enchanted also?
So, I mean, you guys each took one from the town of Edgewood. But, you
Didn't he get his enchant? Like, I thought for a reason that his was enchant. Like,
so you never had yours inspected, Tug. You guys took one each, I believe. But
yeah. I just missed how his was enchanted. So he had someone inspect his.
He had the flower elf take a look at it, and it communicated to him that it was cursed in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, okay. So he didn't know. He's just. I gotcha. So we've been in the same boat. We've just both been assuming we had these axes, but only until right now. I gotcha.
Right.
He was just already acting like his was enchanted. So never mind.
Yeah, I mean, you stole them from the locker in Edgewood, and they're the same axes that you saw the lumber workers use to cut down trees, which were apparently impossible to cut down. So Yes, you collected some of these axes, and now it's at least confirmed in one way, shape, or form that these axes are no bueno for the flower elves that you've met.
Yeah. Well, when it gets back around, I'll act like I see the thing growing out of the.
Sure.
We'll figure that out. I was just confused. So.
All right, Billy, you looking for anything in particular in here? This column, this tower.
No, I just figured, these are just open pueblos for me to get into, and I'm just gonna, explore.
Sure. Give me a D20 perception to see if you find anything.
Alrighty. Let's see here. I get a total of 16.
Okay. So, going throughout the tower, same sort of thing that Tug encountered. Any of the structures that had been built out of wood were sort of reclaimed. You're still able to ascend the staircase all the way to the top, searching every single nook and cranny of this location. You manage to find a small short bow, which looks like ancient sort of sun elf design. It's got the same crescent moon on its sort of handle, the grip where you put your hand, as the one that's been displayed to you. It's got the symbol of Corellin on it. But yeah, this thing seems to be untouched by the world around it, like this was spared for some reason.
Well, that sounds like it belongs in my inventory, at least for now.
When I say it is a short bow, for you, a gnome, it's still kind of unwieldy, but...
oh, yes, I wasn't thinking that I would use it, but I don't think that Tyrell has a ranged attack. He could use it.
Maybe something to take up with him. But you've thoroughly searched this thing, so you know there's not really anything else in there for you. You can go back down and rejoin the group or go to another tower.
I'm enjoying doing this little tower business, so I will go to the blue tower.
Okay. We'll jump over to Tyrell. Tyrell, what are you looking for in particular in this tower here? Or anything in particular?
See a red cube.
Okay, so you're looking for anything red in nature. The markers on top were just so you guys could differentiate between the towers, but
okay, so there's not is there maybe an actual red cube?
Maybe.
Okay, mainly so am I starting at the bottom of this tower and
yes.
I'm working my way up?
Yes.
Boy, that's a lot of stairs.
You notice yours has a very nifty natural elevator. There's some sort of lift that appears to work as you step on it. It slowly starts ascending to the top of the tower.
But were there also stair options?
There were. Imagine a spiral, and then the circle cut out of the center is where the lift is going up. So at any point, you can hop off onto the stairs if you'd like.
I'm jumping off the lift because I don't trust them. I want to really
Okay. The stairs seem just as sturdy and safe.
They should be more sturdy and safe.
I said just as sturdy and safe.
But I believe they're much more.
You believe whatever you want. I'm telling you what it is.
There's always more chance that the lift may fail.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm taking the stairs. I could use the workout. Well, I'm always looking for gum bugs, moss, wire, eyelashes, spider webs.
Okay,
that
so
type of stuff.
Just materials for your artificer things, right?
Sure, yeah, all that. Any if I run into any of that, I'm down.
Sure.
Otherwise, anything shiny is fun.
Okay, give me a D20 roll, perception. See what you get.
I'm rolling like crap today. That's gonna be an 8.
Okay, I mean, you don't find anything as major as a weapon or a bow, but you manage to scrounge up some items. You get some of your insects. I'd say, probably 5 insects of varying types.
Okay.
And that's about all you find of use in here. Most of the structure, its most impressive feature is just the lift itself.
Can I look closelier at the lift?
Yes, you look closelier, and you don't see much magical. It's pretty much just the lift and the counterweight on the opposite side. So the only
so it's very
especially intriguing part is that it knows the proper amount of counterweight to apply to raise you without it being a danger to you.
Sure. Not a danger.
Right, yeah. I mean, you won't
see,
ever
I
really
see.
know because you decided to take the stairs, so.
It raised you up
The only thing
so
I would
you could find bugs in a tower.
is
It
Josh
raised you up.
is Dwarf Groban playing on the lift as it's
There is elevator music, yes. It appears to be funneled somehow from Billy's tower to yours. Like there's some sort of intercom system that runs throughout this.
Before I'm ready to call it quits on this location, I mean, since the lift is the most impressive part, regardless of whether I like it or not, can I tell if there's potentially anywhere the lift reaches that the stairs do not?
You do notice that the stairs do not go all the way to the top of the tower, but the lift does.
Okay. Yeah, the scavenger in me wants to take the risk, so
Are you stepping onto the lift?
Yeah.
All right, you step onto the lift and it sways a little bit as you step onto it, but it sort of centers itself again at the center of the room. And you notice the sort of rope or vine that you've grabbed onto where your hand is. There's like a little up arrow and a little down arrow.
What about a B and an A?
There's no B or A. There's just an up and a down.
No cheat codes here. So if I push the up arrow, before I do that, I'm putting my hand like on the wall. Like, can I grab?
You're far away from the wall. There's nothing to grab but the center vine.
Oh, okay.
So your feet are on the, ring below you, which is connected to the vine, which runs up the center shaft and back down with the counterweight.
Yeah. Wait, so I can put one hand on the vine and then press up?
Yep.
I want to try that.
Okay. You put your hand on the up arrow and it slowly starts to go up.
Weird.
Do you want to go all the way to the top? You want to stop anywhere in particular? The spiral staircase seems to be the same, except for obviously it does not go all the way to the very top of the tower.
Yeah, that's where I'm just looking, anywhere where it doesn't reach, and I'll just listen to the music as I ride up. Yeah.
Billy, do you want to grace us with some elevator music?
It's ooh, I've got a bow, a pretty, pretty bow. I found this bow and it's very nice. It has a moon. Moons are bright, bright, and shiny is the bow.
So about the time that you're tired of hearing about the bow, you reach the top of the lift, and it sort of emerges out onto the top. Some sort of little gazebo sort of catches and locks the platform into place, and you sort of step out onto the edge of this lattice work that is a hand railing around the outside of the top of the tower. And you notice sort of on a little stool that's been rejoined with the tree that is this tower, a metal looking glass, like some sort of, this was a vantage point that they would use to look a greater distance.
Well, I'm just kind of shaken off, and I'm realizing like why elevator music is usually just instrumental. I want to step towards the glass here and see if there's a way I can. I don't want to like move it because maybe it's pointed in a direction it should be to give me some insight or vision on something. So let's see if I can.
So it looks just kind of aimlessly set on the pedestal, but you can see that there's some vines and things that have grown over it. So it's kind of grown into this pedestal.
Mm.
So you would have to cut away at it in order to get this out.
Seems dangerous. It's aimlessly. Okay.
All I mean by that is the height at which that is, it's just pointing at the lattice work as the railing. So if it was pointing towards something at some point, that view has now been obstructed by the railing.
Shatter the glass. See if we can use it to artifice something.
Well, before I shatter it, because that mind definitely goes through my head. I'd like to take my. I'll take my dagger and see if I can cut away at the vines that are roping this thing together.
Okay. You take your dagger to it and give me a d20 roll. See if you break the armor glass.
This is baby dagger, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this supposed to be strength?
It is.
Oh, an 8.
As you start to try and cut into the wood, you think to yourself, oh, this might be a bad idea harming the tree. But then as your blade touches the wood and you try and even shave a little bit off of it, you realize that this is the epicenter of what's making these trees so strong. That without the, proper tool that the people of Edgewood were using, there's no way you're going to get this thing out.
Oh, that's fine. What else can I tell about this glass?
It seems to be not elven in nature. It appears to be dwarven.
Huh.
Perhaps a gift or something, but it is metal and glass. There is no wooden nature to it. You can sort of see some intricate gemstone work, but a lot of it is obstructed by the overgrowth.
Can I touch? I can see some of the glass. Can I touch part of the glass?
Sure. It is glass to the touch.
Is it cold?
Slightly cold.
And then I lick my finger because I want to see if it tastes interesting.
As far as you know, it tastes like glass.
There's literally nothing to this. It must just be simply a gift. Like the Statue of Liberty.
Potentially. Would you like to leave it, go back down, or stay up here and ponder a little bit more about what to do?
My last action is I want to ask it, hey Alexa, tell me the weather.
So you sort of wait for the response as the wind howls and whips through the sort of latticework at the top of the tower, and there is no answer.
Well, the other assistants aren't really worth anything, so I'm going to try if it's Siri. So I'll stand up here and ponder more, and we can...
Okay. We'll jump back down to Tug and Ranger Steve, and then jump over to Billy in a minute. What's up, you two?
Hey, Tug. So I threw the magic axe that we stole into the pond, and then that happened.
Yeah. Like I was going to ask, so you think my axe is also magical?
Yeah. Let's hold on to that before we throw it into the pond. Maybe see what unravels here.
Yeah. That's kind of a scary looking zombie tree.
Yeah, I defaulted and asked them. They kind of, basically were like, I don't know.
So, and just as you're speaking about it and, admiring this thing, you notice that the wood that had caused this like tumor of a tree, this misshapen form, is starting to turn black and like bubble. Like little blisters are popping on this thing, and it is diminishing in size and like shriveling back down into the pond. Like almost to the point that now the metal portion of it is weighing this tree down, and it snaps and breaks and sort of submerges itself beneath the surface of the pond, and the ripples sort of even out, and it becomes like a mirror-like surface once again.
Hey, you should go get that.
Well, I mean, you're a better swimmer.
I mean, but I asked him if I could get in that, and he told me no, so I'm not allowed.
He said he couldn't. Oh, yeah. He said he couldn't drink it. I mean,
no, I asked to begin it with if I could get in it, and he told me no. He never said you couldn't.
Oh. Well, I mean, based on what I just saw, I'm probably not going to get in the water.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I would agree on that. Hey, I found some arrowheads. You want these?
Yeah, sure.
They're ancient.
What do they do?
They're just ancient arrowheads. I don't really know much about arrowheads. Maybe you can investigate them further.
So Ranger Steve, just taking them in your hand and feeling the material, you know these 4 arrowheads to be made of mithril.
Man, I'm thrilled.
Oh man, I think these are going to be able to cut through lots of stuff.
Yeah, what are they?
Well, they're me thrilled. That's what you were. You were thrilled.
Well, I actually haven't seen arrows made of this material. I've seen armor made of this material. You know, it's a pretty strong armor. So I'm assuming, you know, these are pretty nice arrows.
They're just arrowheads.
Oh, arrowheads.
I don't want you trying to sling one of them through your bow.
Invisible arrow shafts with mithril tips, yes.
These are awesome.
That would be kind of cool. I don't know what purpose that would serve, but yeah. You just lose a lot of arrows that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys got nothing else, I can jump back up to Billy and then.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind looking at another tower if you wanted to come with me, Billy. I mean, Ranger. I forgot.
He's got Billy on the mind.
With that, let's jump to Billy in the blue rectangle tower.
Jump! Jump!
So Billy, go ahead and give me another perception roll if you're looking for something or if you're got another objective in mind.
Oh, I got a 21 right here.
Okay.
But it was not natural, so.
So you realize that putting your hand on the tower and asking a question, if it has anything for you, like you kind of nonchalantly just rested your hand on the wall and was like, I wonder if this tower has anything. And the tree sort of twists and moans and the tower creaks, and you notice that this vine sort of comes down with a little pouch, and it sort of dangles the pouch in front of you. You hear some like metallic sort of clinking. You open up the pouch, and there are these like pure gold coins, but they're not the coins that you're used to seeing. These have that crescent moon stamped on them.
How many of them are there?
There's at least 11 of them.
I'll take them.
So you now realize that, I just had to ask. And it saves you all that time going up and down the other towers.
Do I have enough time to go to a new tower and try the same thing?
You do.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the What's the one that was next to the triangle one that I started with?
I didn't have enough time.
I just realized those are just like upside down castles from chess, right?
Yeah, they're rooks.
Rooks, yeah.
So you've got the black checkered one, the yellow
So
pawn,
not the one
the
that's
white.
yeah, the one in between the yellow and the green one.
Okay.
So
So
I don't think anyone's been inside that one yet. So
Nope, nobody's been to the black checker.
yeah, I'll put my hand on the side and ask.
So you sort of ask again, and this time you get a vine that comes down, and it just sort of makes hands, and it kind of shrugs like, I got nothing.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna ask in a politer tone.
It kind of folds its tree arms and again unfolds its arms and goes, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, I'll walk out back to hopefully see Ranger Steve and Tug outside.
You
So
do, indeed.
I think that. Yeah. Hey, Ranger Steve, do you know anything about this this bow here?
So
Well, it's my bow. Oh, your bow.
So he hands you
I found
the
this cool
short
bow.
with the sign of Corellan on it, and seems to be made of nice sturdy wood, nice compact frame. It's not as unwieldy as the one you currently have. It doesn't have quite the range, but it would be effective in closer engagements.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty cool bow. As I remember, it's not as sturdy as my bow.
Oh, well, that's okay. I was thinking
And-
about giving it to Tyrell as a gift.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you guys
just
think?
have
Do you
a
think
whole
he'll
lot of-
like it? Do you think he'll like me?
like you or the gift?
You know, like me for giving him a gift, and
Yeah,
I'm really close. I feel like we're getting closer. He keeps going away, but I'm thinking, hey, he's going to convert the helm someday.
well, I
This
don't know.
could be our catalyst.
He's a little cautious about Helm based on our last experience with you and Helm.
Well,
But
he went to church. I thought he really enjoyed it.
yeah, enjoying. I believe he snuck out and he decided to not intervene at all. So something tells me that he wasn't too positive with that experience.
No, that's how your first experience is supposed to go to church. Is you're supposed to find a time to exit without the rest of the people seeing you. That's one of the traditions of being a newcomer.
Okay, well, I'll have to take you by that because I know nothing about your bullshit religion. But I think you might be able to get back into his good graces. Yeah, I think that'd be a good, solid gift.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
All right. Tyrell, do you want to awkwardly approach at this point?
So I've been
Are you
left.
still in the town or?
You've been left what, Tyrell?
Could I hear anything that was being spoken? It's a long ways down there.
Yeah, you cannot. You just hear the rush of the wind from way up here.
I noticed the last, I just want to take another look before I head down. I was kind of waiting out to see if maybe, maybe light in a certain direction or the clouds disperse to hit the glass in a certain way that make it look a little different, or open a portal. I don't know.
Looking down at the spyglass, it doesn't appear to yield any results like that, but you do notice the sort of sun hitting the reflection of the chrome sort of pond down below, and it mirrors the sky pretty well. You think that's a point of intrigue, but it doesn't appear like it just looks like from where you're at, this was a common vantage point that they used. You can see almost to the edge of Lambrose. I mean, you can see a long ways, but only just see where the tree line stops. But you guys have come a long way. You can pretty much just see Ember Peak in the distance, but it's a very faint light, the faintest you've seen the light so far, because this is the farthest distance you've been from Ember Peak.
That itself is a little disconcerting.
Like
Alright.
you're surprised at the distance you guys have covered. It doesn't even seem like it's accurate. Like you seem to be much deeper in Lambrose than what you've covered by foot.
And at the same time, I'm not surprised because this forest is weird.
Right. You
Oh,
don't
when I think-
know
okay, so
if the forest is growing and that's how much it's grown,
that's what I was just thinking.
or if you merely have somehow transcended time, or time in here has been much longer than you gave it credit for.
Okay, well, yeah, I want to head back down. I guess I gotta get on this shaky ass lift, but I'm only riding it down until the stairs. Or maybe walking down the rest of the stairs.
Sure. So the flower elf sort of ushers you to the other side of town, and you can see the others there. Pretend like move this out of the way. Pretend like this is, you know, not the way you came in, but the way you're leaving. So there's another latticework gate. You guys are sort of being shown where the dragon is ahead of you.
Before we leave, can I look at them and be like, so did that not freak you guys out with that tree and the and the water? Like, what was that about? Has that ever happened before?
So the flower elf sort of explains that the pond obviously has like untapped creative potential. Like it just grows. It's like a cancer. Like it just grows and grows and grows. Like it sort of fast tracks the life of that object. So it you know, extends its life, but it also burns through it super fast. So anything that comes into contact with it indirectly is given longevity and strength, but anything that comes in direct contact with it, it's like, you know, spending 100 years in the flash of an eye.
Wow. All right. How can you represent how he expressed that or she expressed that, since they
It's
can't
very
speak?
impressive to be
Yeah.
able to express
Yeah.
that. And
So a infant elf approaches in the flower sort of wall what appears to be the pond of Corellan's blood, and the infant sort of reaches out and touches it with its hand, and you see it grow from an infant to a child to a teenager to an adult to a middle-aged elf to an old elf, and then, you know, becomes slumped over and dies, and then is taken into the earth. So it goes through the entire life cycle. But you notice that the sun that was setting and rising in the background only passed in the time of one day.
Oh man, I think we should dump the dragon in here. Okay, well, kind of scary. That tree. You know, a bit of a really responsive reaction to that, and then nothing. But any other telling words you can help us with? You know, the dragon maybe, or anything ahead of us.
It sort of offers you each one of the flowers that it gave Billy Banger.
Oh, do I get a second?
It doesn't initially offer you one, but if you'd like to ask for a second one.
Well, if everyone else is getting something handed to them, yeah, I'm gonna stick my hand out as well.
So you see that where there were only 3 flowers being offered, a reluctant branch sort of splits off with a 4th flower for you.
Perfect.
I would have liked to get to search the towers, but that's all right.
So there was only one other tower that needed searching, Tug.
Can I search it?
Sure, just go ahead and give me the D20 perception roll.
Oh, 19.
All right. you also find a bag of gold coins with the crescent moon stamped upon them. The bag is only 5 gold pieces. Make sure to write those separate from your other gold pieces. Distinguish those with the mark.
Yes.
Oh, hey Tyrell, I got a gift for you. I found this. I thought you might like a weapon to use in battle, occasionally.
What is it?
Oh, it's a short bow with a crescent moon of Corellian symbol on it.
Who'd you steal it from?
I didn't. It was handed to me by the tree. Those towers, all you had to do was go in there and ask for them to, show what they have, and they'll send down vines to show you everything that they have. Right? You knew that.
I knew that, yes. But you're saying you don't want this? You don't need it?
No.
I mean, I'm stammered. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. I don't have a long range weapon at all.
Well, now you do.
Well, thanks, pal.
Jared, I'll give you the statistics for that once we kind of wrap up here. But as the flower elf opens the gateway once more to reveal the trail deeper into the forest, you see a dragon sort of made of flowers appear with an arrow sort of pointing ahead. But there's a little wooden sign just right in the middle of the trail, not like 50 gnomes in front of you. You can't quite make out what it says, but there is a sign ahead of you. And the flower elf sort of turns to you and bows and then gestures its hand forward.
Can we ask him what it says? Like, hey, can you make that sign a little bit more clear? Surely you know what it said at one time.
So it just offers you to go forth and look for yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard the next time on D&D already going, so I'm pretty sure we were not gonna get to know yet.
It's 10:06, so I want you to go read the sign, but
I'll go read the sign. I don't
right.
know if you guys trust me, but I'll read it.
Oh no, I figured we'd have to wait, but okay.
No,
Sounds good.
you can at least read the sign. So if you all want to go through the,
Can you
I think Tug is literate in some manner.
I want to hear Tug's interpretation of what the sign says.
Before you cross the threshold of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I
Is anybody else going with him? No. That's fine. So Tug, you run up to the sign, and the sign is pointing towards the place you just came from. And the sign says Edgewood this way.
That makes sense.
What does it say?
Hardwood this way.
Are there any way out? Any other ways out? Flower girl.
So
Edgewood.
she sort of shakes her head and says there's either deeper into the forest or back the way you came. She recommends that you not stray from the path.
We want to go deeper. The deepest.
Then the direction Tug is currently headed is deepest into the forest.
All right.
But we came from Edgewood. This seems like it's sort of going around a bad way.
I think we just need to turn the sign around. I think it's probably just the wind blew it.
So,
But are we on the back side of the map now?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
so
I want to step out with him. Yeah.
you do notice on the
Wave by.
you do notice on the backside of the map that was given to you by Sib, the soothsayer, that the wooden sign with the arrow is clearly marked on
Yeah.
the side of the map. So you now assume you are on the other side of the map.
All right. We have made it to the other side.
And that's where we will wrap up for tonight.
Alrighty.
And Jared can tell us really quick what the hell he was trying to do by sneaking away from the group.
Oh no.
Well, what were you trying to do?
I was too late. I was like pondering like what I would, because remember the situation. We were all basically wrapped on the other side, which is kind of weird. But we knew the flower elf was there, and my thought was like I hadn't said anything in a while. I was gonna do one of my. I stepped away and hid, but I texted Christian so late on it. Like I should have texted way earlier to try. Not that I guess it would have mattered, but I thought through what I wanted to do. Here's the ideal scenario: was I succeeded at stepping away early on, and like Kobe had reached out and tried to like ask me questions like 2 or 3 times, and that's when I finally texted Christian like, okay, I'm meant to be hiding this whole time because I wasn't answering. My my attempt was to be like bashful, embarrassed, like not wanting to talk to the cute flower elf until I didn't know it was a dude.
It's okay that you're attracted to guys.
If you noticed, I mean, I changed
You
its gender constantly.
You did a lot. That's why I was very confused. Which you didn't in the beginning though. It was flower elf, and then all I heard was I didn't hear any gender until he, and I was like, I could make Tyrell not care, and then I was like, I don't know, and I ever since I failed the stealth check, I was like, cool. Well, that I was trying to adapt, and I failed miserably. I just made everyone really concerned, like, what the hell are you doing?
At one time you said, yeah, he's going to go over here, but she's not. It was something like that. You said he, she. And I was like, what? Okay.
After we were inside the whatever you want to call that, I noticed that it was very fluid, and I was like, oh, okay. This could have still played well, but I just didn't know how to. It didn't work the way I wanted it to, and I wasn't being good at adapting it.
So wait, what were you trying to do?
Be bashful.
Yeah, I was just trying to be like, okay, she's hot. Like, and I don't know what to say. I was just like,
he was trying.
Check out
to flirt.
You just texted me and said I'm hiding, so I obviously naturally was like, okay, give me a stealth check. If you had told me that you were just going to act bashful or that you had these feelings for this thing,
flower,
then I probably wouldn't have given you a stealth check. I just would have made it apparent to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I didn't feel like typing all that out. I was supposed to be all like, I just didn't figure I was gonna fail.
Well, you didn't have to type
Christian,
anything.
do we expect that if Tyrell's trying to come onto a flower that he wouldn't try to first hide from it?
That is, yeah. I would say things unfolded how they probably would have.
This would be Tyrell. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna like spy from behind a tree. Like, I don't know what to say.
You're the prettiest flower of them all.
So you could tell Tyrell, Jared, that they were kind of eyeing you a little bit, not out of
because he's a dark elf
affection, but yes, your complexion is very much more aligned with, the betrayers.
Lol.
Yeah, Lolith.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay. I make up for that because I'm a child of Helm. So and he was on the cool people side.
Helm was the snitch. He
sees everything.
Yeah, can't hide anything.
Hey,
from him.
it's not a snitch when you're a god of law and order. Okay, someone's got to bring that hammer down.
He's a total square.
Judge Judy.
But yeah, sorry for the slower session tonight, but there was a lot you guys needed to know before going farther along here, so.
Well, actually, I'm okay with that because, I mean, the way you're leading this is like, are we going to immediately run into this dragon now? Like,
well, look at where you're at on the map.
yeah, whatever that means.
If you're at the road sign, and you
basically, well, yeah, I see that.
Can you repost the map to Discord?
Yes.
No. So basically, we're in this infinitely growing forest following this map that
It sounds like Edgewood was doing a great job. They were maintaining the forest.
I mean, maintaining it.
So it stopped growing. I mean, someone's got to, be a conservation agent here and, take over some spots. So, they helped stop the the unnatural growth of this forest and, able to nip that right in the flower buds. So
This definitely sounds like Billy, because I don't know that we have any proof that that's true.
Yeah. Do we know they realized what was happening? Or they just have a successful logging company?
Yeah. It's infinite trees.
yeah, if it's gonna keep growing, I mean, that's more trees for them. I'm thinking we get in on the business.
Could, yeah, yield results.
I knew we should have antagonized that mayor guy, whatever his name was. I always forget.
Well,
Commissioner Cassius Credo.
Yeah.
That guy. I'm just gonna call him the mayor. I don't.
He is.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the commissioner, but.
My thought process was more going down, trying to understand the physics of this reality, or we're literally traversing weird dimensions or something, or maybe maybe this is like a fragment or an actual portal that was kind of touched on with the crystal spheres. Like maybe this is us transcending into another one of a parallel yet reversed universe when we travel through that doorway, because we're literally going back through Edgewood when we're physically from where we just were. We came in from it's basically a mirror, like where we were. Now we're running back from Edgewood.
But everything's slightly different.
The sign is the sign for Edgewood is pointing the direction that you came. So the sign is pointing the right orientation. You came from Edgewood. The sign is pointing back towards Edgewood. So you have simply made it this deep into the forest, farther than anyone has perceivably made it before, and there is a sign for Edgewood saying that it is in the direction from which you just came.
Okay,
that sounds like the Zoo Warriors. I mean, they would make it farther than anybody else.
So the elf people have never heard of Edgewood. Where'd the sign come from that knew of Edgewood?
No, they said that they had they knew of Edgewood. They knew that it stopped there at that town, like the growth of the forest, right? So the body of water and the town of Edgewood were the only two things that were keeping this forest at bay. Like the growth is slow outside because they're doing their best to contain this, but the pond is essentially soaking into the earth and saturating this forest. So
who'd they make that sign for?
You don't know. You don't know if they made it either. But clearly there's civilization farther down the trail, because otherwise there wouldn't be an Edgewood sign.
Oh, we're gonna find Lolof.
A lot of the lore you guys took today, I mean, it's not gonna immediately be. It's just something.
It's canon. It's canon.
It is part of the universe, but.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of universes.
Yeah, but
We're galaxies. Are the spheres just galaxies, or are they?
So there are solar systems in the crystal spheres that float around in the flagellum, independent of each other.
Obviously.
So you are but one continent on a single planet in the solar system that is contained within the crystal sphere that floats in the
Marble
ether of the flagellum alongside other crystal spheres.
Isn't the flagellum something inside of a cell?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, that's a part of an airplane. They're called.
Sorry, I meant the phlogiston, not flagellum.
I know, yeah, so I knew that.
Yes.
You changed the name like halfway through description, and I almost said something, but you were kind of on a roll.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said something, because I didn't even catch myself until you mentioned it. Yeah, it is the phlogiston, not the flagellum. Flagellum is an explorer. It's a weird.
I don't think that's what he said before. But...
it's a weird word. I've said it more tonight than I have ever in my entire life. So.
Well, it's now going to be the flagellum. So.
The flagellum. Yes, it kind
We
of
just
makes sense.
We need to go back to Deepwood and just get on that rock and clean it. So.
Because yeah, anything that's declared on that rock, it is now law.
That's true.
By that town.
Yeah, exclusively in Deepwood.
Zombies.
Listen, that's how things start. Law's gotta change one place at a time.
Yeah, I mean, you guys could have just lived your entire lives in the euphoria of Deepwood. Just let the tree take you, and
How would that story have progressed? Next week on Deepwood.
Every week we meet up and just talk about what's going on in Deepwood.
Every single session just would have been an improv session on what you guys want to do until you finally are like, okay, we're done. We're going somewhere else now.
We were there a while.
We're everywhere a while.
Yeah, that's why I saw the time running out tonight, and I was like, we'll push you on to the deeper parts of the forest here, get a little mystery unfolding. So,
Ooh, murder mystery! I'm excited.
At some point,
It would be interesting to know how many sessions we've actually played just for the first part of this map.
12.
It was like October when we entered.
Yeah, I told you this would be a long, arduous journey, but it's been much more than
3 or
that.
4 sessions.
Yeah.
I think that death wall really fucked us up. We're a lot more cautious now.
Yeah.
If we run into a sheriff's office somewhere, I need to put a missing persons report out for one tabaxi, a green guy, and a
Yeah.
ranger.
None of you, until just now, have brought up that your friends are missing.
I just figured we'd go to a local police station and put in, just a missing persons report.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. So maybe they'll fan out and start walking Lambrose Forest and come up with something.
We put a small reward up of like 25 wood chips.
I mean, you just stand in the rock and tell people they have to find him.
It is long.
Inside of Deepwood.
Because you can't leave.
I want to know what.
But...
So those 2 elves took away Stalker. I mean, I'm wondering what's happening there. They must have been some crazy witches. So.
Yeah, it is impressive how you guys have just chugged along, despite losing close friends and allies, and just.
But isn't that life?
Yes, but
As we grow apart.
typically those people don't just disappear into thin air.
I mean, they might.
If the air is thin enough.
If you're in a spooky forest. But I'm going
And
to
if
stop
there
the stream, so say your goodbyes.
Goodbye,
Thanks for
stream.
watching, everybody.